Hi, my name is Mark, and I'm Adobe Certified Instructor, an Adobe Community Professional, and just recently, an Adobe Campus Leader. Woohoo! And this is 10 Hacks with Captivate and the Creative Cloud. In this episode of Captivate and the Creative Cloud, I'm going to show you how you can integrate Adobe Typekit into your Captivate or all of your Adobe applications. So let's take a look. So remember last time, if you saw the last video, we created a storyboard using Captivate Draft. And I opened up the storyboard here in Captivate, and here I am. And if I wanted to spice this up a little bit more, I could come in here and select maybe the font and try to change the font. So down here in my character panel here, I can scroll and I can click to choose a font that I want to use for my project. And you'll see here they have system fonts. And I have a whole bunch of system fonts. That means fonts that are on my system, on this computer only. So being that we're now exporting to HTML, I'm not able to use any font that I want for a project because it's going to be user-based. It's going to be the fonts that are available on the client's computers. Which is why if we scroll up in the font list, we see something called web-safe fonts. These are fonts that most people are going to have on their computer. Arial, Courier, Geneva, Georgia, Helvetica, Times, Trebuchet, and Verdana. Outside of that, we're taking a risk that whatever font I choose for my design is not going to be available on my client's machine. Until we incorporate the Creative Cloud. So look what we can do. So if I come down here to where my fonts are, right next to my fonts, I have this little TK button here, which says go to typekit.com. So I click and let's go. So it's going to open up my browser. Okay, I didn't say anything about it loading quickly, did I? Because I just edited that out for you. Here we go. So Typekit finally opens in a browser, and you'll see here I have a bunch of different fonts that I can choose from to see. I can see what my font looks like, right? I can always change the font here, put an example or whatever font you're going to be using so you can get an idea of what that text is going to look like in a certain font case. And I can just click on a font that I like. So without wasting time, let's just make believe that I like this example, Commuter Sans, and I click. And then Commuter Sans loads, and again, I can type in the text that I'd like to use to see how it's represented. And you can see all the fonts. So I like this bold one here. Let's say this semi-bold. So here I can just click on sync. And now I'm syncing, or already synced. Is that a word? Synced? I've already synced this Commuter Sans bold semi-bold. So that's it. So then I can scroll up to the top and you'll see my synced fonts here at top. I can click and here you are. You can see my synced fonts. I have 5 of 100 in my plan that I'm allowed to sync. And I can just as easily unsync a font if I wasn't going to use that for my project. And now you'll see I have Handel, Gothic, HTT, HWT, and Trajan, if I pronounce that correctly. And I'm going to go back to Captivate. So I'm going to unsync this to remove that one. And I'm going to go back to Captivate. And in my Captivate here, you'll see under my drop down, I can click. And I have my system fonts. Remember the fonts that are on this computer only. I have my web safe fonts that are safe to use that will be available on most people's computer. And now I have my Typekit fonts that I can click on use. My Handel Gothic font. You'll see it changes my font. And I have a new style here that I could use throughout my project. What I could also do is then I can publish. Click on Publish for Devices, and you'll see that when I publish, it says this project will now link to your Typekit account. Typekit is included within your Creative Cloud plan. Please note, Captivate lets you design typekits, blah, 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 blah. You get it. I press Next. And then here, I just have to put the domain or the host of where I'm going to be hosting my eLearning files. And that's it. And then font will be downloaded to your client's computer, and you could use any font that you'd like within the Adobe Creative Cloud's Typekit. So I could also search on Typekit if you have a certain font in mind. Like, let's say you have a font called Golden Book. I type in Golden and you'll see Golden Book shows up. I can click and now I can start using this new font. Okay, and then the new font loads. What if you don't know the name of the font? Like, for instance, on my business card, there's a font. It's not really a font. It's kind of like something that I created as I was animating my logo. But I took a picture of it, and right over here where it says Search Typekit, to the right, there's a little photo icon where I can upload a photo to scan to find a similar type. So I'm going to click, and I'm going to go to my desktop where I have my business card, and I'll double click it and open it up. Okay, then it will scan the file and load it into Typekit. And then I want to know what font on this business card that I want to select. And I'm going to select my wacky logo here, headTrix. Okay, and I'll press next step. And now it's not so sure of what the text is, so I'm just going to help it out, and I'm going to type the font or the text as written there. And I'll click next step again. And there you have it. Now it just found a bunch of fonts that resemble my logo that I could possibly use. That's using Adobe Sensei, artificial intelligence. Pretty nifty, pretty cool. Hope that helps. See you next time.